Now let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history. This week, find out what Tool Church leaders are using once again to reach people with the gospel.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. On January 25 in 1909, the General Conference Committee voted to establish a health restaurant, as they called it, in the city of Washington, D.C. In the early and mid-20th century, many large cities across the world had Adventist vegetarian restaurants, but most were closed in the late 20th century. Just over 100 years after the General Conference voted money to set up such a restaurant just down the road from them in the U.S. Capitol, church leaders around the globe are once again trying to establish restaurants as centers of influence for reaching the world's big cities. 3 years later, on January 25, 1912, the first Adventist church building in the Philippines was dedicated in Malolos, the hometown of the Manalassay family, one of whom, Emilio, later was one of the first 3 Filipinos ordained as Adventist ministers. On January 26, in 1947, in the Mexican state of Nuevo León, Montemorelos Hospital officially opened under the leadership of Dr. H.E. Butker. Adventist medical work in Mexico had begun in 1934, when 2 physicians, Einar S. Ritchie and Ralph Smith, held improvised clinics in different parts of the country. Construction of a hospital began in 1945 on land donated by the Nuevo León state governor, and it opened 68 years ago this week. Today it is Montemorelos University Hospital, which last year treated 53,000 patients. That was This Week in Adventist History.